YouTube, what's poppin'? I know it's been a long time. To be exact, it's been 14 months. The last time I was on was in March of 2017. My apologies because I know for me, I just like when people that you follow and you rooting for and you praying for and they just vanish and you don't know what happened and you're like, are they okay? And so I apologize, but I have been going through a lot in my life. And in March, after my last failed cycle, that was the cycle that I had retrieved 8 eggs and we transferred to 3. They were unsuccessful. We froze the 1 embryo. So I had decided I was undecided if to start a new cycle or to do my FET. And that's where I kind of left off at. In the midst of that, I did decide to go with the FET. But unfortunately, 2 weeks later, I lost my brother who was 45 years old. And it was really sudden. Nothing was wrong with my brother. I had just talked to him that Monday. That Tuesday evening, I got a phone call saying that he was being airlifted from Cooper Hospital, I think, in New Jersey to the University of Penn Hospital because he had a lot of swelling on his brain. Or no, they told me that he had a heart attack. And I'm just like, a heart attack? So, I went to the hospital that night and come to find out, the lady is coming out talking about a donor. And I'm just like, lady, slow up. Like, what are you talking about? I need to see my brother. And she tried to explain to me that he had went into cardiac arrest about 7 or 8 times, and they were afraid that if he continued to go into cardiac arrest, they could possibly puncture his ribs or lungs or whatever the case may be. I don't even know. I was like out of it. Like I just was not expecting them to come out and tell me this. So, long story short, he had was with a friend and he had gotten into the car. He had kind of fell out the car, like passed out. His friend did CPR, called the ambulance. They got to him. They did, you know, CPR, try to get him back. And in the midst of him continuing to go into cardiac arrest, he lost a lot of oxygen to his brain. So it was a lot of swelling on his brain. So they did everything they could to get the swelling off of his brain. And unfortunately, we had to make a decision because it was no brain activity and he was pretty much brain dead. So my brother had 2 children and they're like my children. I have a niece that's 25 and a nephew who's 20. And my brother also had 2 grandchildren by my niece who are now 6 and 2. So it was really difficult because we're a really close family, and to lose my mom in 2014 and then turn around and lose their dad, which is my brother, in 2017, and both really unexpected and just kind of really sudden where you're forced to make these decisions. So, yeah, so I was dealing with that. And in the midst of that, I still wanted to continue to do my FET. Luckily, I had my birth controls with me at the hospital, so I continued to take them. And I just had missed a couple appointments where they would monitor me, but my lining had never been a problem, so they wasn't too concerned. And they understood that I had lost my brother, so they agreed to continue with my FET cycle. So we did that, and I continued to take the birth control pills, and I started my estrogen. I guess around April 19th or the 20th, because I sent her an email that night that I had, or whenever I stopped my birth control pills. It said I started my medication last night. However, I'm beginning to spot, and I feel like my period is coming on. Is this normal? She said that's no problem. You may get a period from stopping the birth control pills, but you will still continue everything as planned. So, and this was I had did 6 cycles and I had just never bled before, and so I just wanted to be for certain. Then I thought it could be stress. I did just lay my brother to rest, and I was really trying to I just convinced myself I could be okay with this cycle. I just felt like I lost my mom and my brother. This has to be my cycle. So I wasn't willing to wait and sacrifice more time. I was already 41 and a half at the time. So I needed to continue to get things moving. And also at that time, I was out of work already because I had hurt my foot. So it just made everything better, or made sense for me to try to do it while I was out of work. So I did the estrogen every 3 days. I did zero point 0.2 cc's, and then I did the progesterone oil. And I really don't even remember that cycle, to be honest. But and it was a unsuccessful cycle. So right after that cycle, of course, I was right back at it. I was like, okay, well, I'm ready to do another fresh cycle. So and actually, the one in March was my 5th IVF cycle, because this made my 6th IVF cycle, fresh cycle that I did. And I did 2 FET'S, so it was like 8 transfers. So in May, the end of May, we started the microdose flare protocol. And with that cycle, I had did that cycle before with the birth controls, Menopur, and Gyno F. And that cycle was really simple. I mean, it was just basically what I had done in the past. Well, I have done that cycle before as well. So the egg retrieval, everything went fine with that cycle. I had retrieved 6 eggs. Excuse me, I had retrieved 6 eggs. All 6 was mature, and we decided to go, and what was it? Four had fertilized, and we decided to go with a 5-day transfer to see what we would end up with, and we ended up with 2. So we transferred those 2, and that cycle was unsuccessful. So again, I'm just like, all right, I'm ready to do it again, And at this point, I actually, to be honest, was getting tired of it. But it was just like, it has to work eventually, So I contacted them again and told them I want to do another cycle. Well, she wound up emailing me back. This is the receptionist, and she's saying that the billing people are saying that I've already exceeded my 3 transfers. And I'm trying to explain to them that that's not how my insurance works. Like, I already, when I came there, they thought that I wasn't going to be covered, and they approved it. And I'm telling the lady, just submit the authorization and let the insurance company determine it. I contacted the insurance company. They like, we haven't received any authorization. That's not true. As long as you haven't had 3 live births, then they would still pay for my cycle. And I just felt like I was begging them. And this was Shady Grove Fertility out of Maryland. And I'm just like, how am I begging them? So I ended up contacting CNY Fertility, which they have their offices out of New York. And I went to the one in Syracuse. So initially it was back and forth with the emails and stuff, and I was getting discouraged from that. But I had always wanted to go to CNY. Well, I had not always wanted to go there because I didn't want to go to New York, but I had inquired with my first clinic and my second clinic, well, both of them, about the Omnitrope. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, because I cannot pronounce these medications, okay? I don't even try to. But it's a human growth hormone, and I had actually seen it on 2 YouTube channels of women that were older, my age, that had that, and their cycles were successful, and one of them had went to CNY Fertility. So I think her name is Treva 40. I forget, but she it was a couple women who have used this. So I had inquired about my doctors before, and they said that they didn't use it. So anyway, after going back and forth with CNY, we finally got things rolling. They got my medical history and everything. They seen that I had never got a SHG done. I thought that I had one. That thing hurts. I mean, it hurts like hell. Excuse my language, but it really do. Like, the doctor was really nice. I went to a clinic in Jersey, which was like an hour from me. And because I called a lot of places and they didn't do them. So this clinic did in New Jersey, and the doctor was really nice. He was trying to talk me through it. I'm like, please just shut up, because I'm trying to breathe and just hurry up and get through it. It was a lot of pain, but everything was normal with that. They checked my left ovary, my right ovary. It says that they used 10 cc of saline infused through Goldstein catheter after sterile preparation of cervix, and the results, the cavity within normal limits, and it has like the measurement and follicle, whatever, for the left ovary and right ovary. But everything was okay. He gave me an antibiotic, and I also took a Motrin, and I was in pain even like the rest of that day. And I got that done like the end of September. So by the time I sent all my medical stuff, they still was requesting that they needed to make sure that I had got a breast exam because I was over 40, and they wanted to make sure that I had that. And then the results from my husband as well. Because my paperwork, I'm a carrier for SMA, which is like a respiratory issue. Actually, one of my friends lost her daughter to SMA, so I was really shocked that I was a carrier for it. But it's only like high risk if you and your spouse are both carriers for it. So my husband isn't, which is good, and thank God. So I had to send his paperwork of all the things that he had done as well. So I did that, and I had already missed another cycle, and it was just crazy. So by the time we finally got started, it was December. So in December, and he gave me a laundry list. A lot of these medications I had never used before, and of course the one that I first mentioned was the Omnitrope, which is, well, I'm going to spell it Omnitrope. That. Also, I did intralipics. Oh, and my insurance did pay for the cycle, okay? Only, and the medication. Just, they didn't pay for those two medications that I just said. I had to get them from another pharmacy, Cornerstone. And those medications was about $700 total. $690 or something like that. Then I did also the Gono F, the Menopur, the Cetratide, which looks like this. This is the first time I ever took this as well. The Leuprolide. Again, I may be saying these things wrong. Yeah, the Leuprolide. And both of those medications, I only took those one time during a cycle. But I had never taken those before. I had never taken Cleocin before. Prednisone, which is a tablet, Prednisone. I had never taken that. I had never taken Prograf. I also did the endometrium inserts. I did a Z-Pack, Zythromax. I had never taken that either. And then the HCG. So, did all of that. I did my monitoring in New Jersey. That was all really easy. Everything would be uploaded to the patient portal. Everything started going smoothly once we got started. It was just in the beginning that things were just like, I felt like I was just another case, and they have so many people, you know, because they don't turn anybody down. So, when I got to the clinic, which we did my egg retrieval on the day after Christmas, the 26th, and it was a really nice facility too. Really, really nice. Looked like a spa. Well, it is a spa. So we did we actually went to the wrong side for the egg retrieval. The spa side is where you do your transfer at. So, sorry, my lips are dry and I'm probably thirsty. Matter of fact, I am thirsty. I'm sorry. Anyway, so we get there for the transfer, and when I say this facility is jam-packed, like it's standing room, like all the seats is taken and you standing up, okay? They in